Professor Phillips, thank you so much for joining us today. As a University of Birmingham alumnus, what's it like being back? Are there any noticeable changes?
The biggest change of all, of course, is the size and I think the quality of the university. It is 10 times larger than when I was here in terms of number of students. There were only 3,500 when I was here. And I think the international reputation of the university as it is now is incomparable. I mean, it is a top university in the world, and you sense that when you're on the campus. So it's good to come home, as it were, but to a much larger home.
How do you think your time at the university has influenced your career in chemistry?
Well, I think as an undergraduate, I got a good grounding in chemistry. We covered all branches of the subject, and it was a fairly thorough course. But that led on to postgraduate work, which I chose to carry out here in Birmingham rather than move away. It was a problem we were set, or that I chose to do, was a problem in reaction kinetics. And I think we did some quite novel things. We were working on chlorinated, fluorinated radical reactions, which at the time was purely for their intrinsic interest. We didn't see any applications. But when the ozone problem became apparent in the mid-80s, it turns out that some of the causes of the loss of ozone was the dissociation of the very compounds that I happened to be working on as a postgraduate student. And so it had a relevance long after I had finished doing it.
After completing your BSc and your PhD at the University of Birmingham, you did your postdoctoral research in Texas and in the USSR. In what ways do you think the opportunity to travel has benefited your scientific research?
I think it benefits everyone to travel. It broadens your mind. It allows you to meet people in your field and outside your field who can give you a new perspective on what is of importance and what you're trying to do. What has actually occurred over my lifetime is that the need to travel has probably diminished somewhat in that we have instant communication now with the rest of the world. But nothing beats being face-to-face with somebody, particularly if you're arguing about interpretation of results and whatever. It's so much easier and nicer to have a face-to-face discussion.
So what for you personally is some of your favourite research that's currently happening in chemistry?
Battery technology, which I think is a combination of material science, chemistry, physics, and is hugely important. I think the future of the world depends on us cracking that problem. I think in medical research, which again is, if you like, applied chemistry, I would say that, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
The major diseases still have not been cracked. My own work has been involved with a form of cancer research. There are many treatments which are actually treating the patient after the disease has developed, and I think we need to treat much earlier than that, and the diagnostic technologies are coming along which allow us to do that.
So do you have any further ambitions in your career that you'd like to achieve?
I'd like to see an appreciation of chemistry amongst the general public regain the kind of position it had probably in the 1950s. I think we probably as a subject haven't worked hard enough to get across the general utility and beauty actually of chemistry as a subject.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview with us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Well, thank you very much for entertaining me. I've enjoyed it.